Hey guys, what's up? I'm here bringing you guys a SSOU tournament game I played today. It was featuring a really hyper offensive team. I wanted to showcase it. I also just haven't brought many SS games lately, in part because I haven't been as successful as I'd like to be. I did show you guys that Kiram game, which I got a 6-0 by lead, and I think that was a pretty funny game, but definitely not my best result. And in other games, I've won some, I've gotten unlucky in some, I've gotten completely obliterated in some, like the Kiram game. That's life, but before I get to, finish showing you the game he finally wins, I've brought you guys the current game, which I lost, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I've lost more games than I've won over the last couple months, but definitely going to try and bounce back, and this will be hopefully the start of that movement. So yeah, today I was using a hyper-offensive team. The idea is that 5 Pokemon in this team have set up moves. One of them is a Scarfini. That about sums it up. There was a lot of thought put in this team, though. The idea was to use a Garchomp and Weavile to poke holes in teams so that Hawlucha and Scizor can sweep, and Volcarona was there not only to abuse teams that really stacked physical defensive walls, but also just outright clean up teams. It was a Quiver Dance, Giga Drain, Modest set, really strong. Giga Drain helps with Tapu Fini in particular, and also just abusing things like other bulky waters, making sure Gastrodon's not a problem, And Scarfini gives Train for Hawlucha, and nice Revenge Killer potentially as well. I'm not going to go ahead and go off on some big tangent about the teams or anything either, though I know you guys probably want to see the game. So we're just going to say, okay, his team, it's got Tapu Koko, Tornadus T, Clef, Urshifu Rapid, Ferrothorn, and the Landorus T. One thing that comes off to me in the team preview is he needs Urshifu Rapid as a Revenge Killer for Volcarona with Aqua Jet, or I guess it's Scarf, it could do that too. But it's only Fire Resist, that's important. It's also only Weavile check and the main Scizor check, so if I get damage under Urshifu Rapid, it'll look pretty good. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the game now. I predict him to lead with Koko, because Koko is really good against my team, or Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn gets up Hazards. Hazards would be great for chip things down like Finny, Scizor, Chomp. So I led off with my Chomp, and I figured he'd fear like Life Orb Fire Blast or Life Orb Fire Fang, which I happen to be. So I'm going to always Swords Dance turn 1 figuring he's going to go to Landorus T. He actually goes Clef, which was a bit surprising to me because I'm a Life Orb max attack. So I'm going to take that out pretty comfortably there. That's going to put me up 6-5. From there he goes Urshifu Rapid. I'm like, okay, well, on the off chance that he's bluffing, I can get a kill here. But I'm thinking he's probably just Scarf Ice Punch. Or he's Scarf, he's going to try and U-turn, bait a Earthquake, go to the Landorus, then maybe like switch around and then eventually trying to kill me. I'm not too sure what it was, honestly, but I figured he'd be Scarf Ice Punch, given that he went to this over Koko or Landorus T. But I was like, A, if he predicts the Volk or the Scizor or the Finny and U-turns, I'm going to get another free kill. And B, on top of that, if he kills me with Ice Punch, not only am I still, neutralized, but he's chipped a little bit, which is nice chip for the remainder of my team, as I mentioned before. Getting chip on this Urshifu is huge, but also then that opens up the door for Volcarona to really come in and potentially just get a kill right off the bat. Quiver Dance, and there's nothing stopping me, because if it's this rock move on Landorus T, it's probably offensive, which I don't think he is. And because of that, I know that I can Quiver Dance, and then if he's offensive, I kill him. If he's more especially defensive, then he lives Fire Blast, the standard spread, but he can't kill me with Earthquake, so that's cool there. And if he really wants to play cute games, and he goes back to Urshifu and tries to revenge kill me, which I'm modest, so he can do if he's plus speed Scarf, then he's still going to end up taking a +1 Fire Blast, and it's barely going to live, and it's in range of like Ice Shard, Ball Punch, and whatnot, so I'm more than okay with that. So I felt that on the chance he overpredicted, switching would not have been great for me if he U-turns on the Weavile or the Scizor or the Finny. And if he Ice Punches here, then I get a kill anyway. So it felt like it was the best way to just stay in here and say, okay, I lose Garchomp, but after another Life Orb range, it was in range of Gleam potential anyway. Landorus T was at full, and the Tornadus outran it anyway, so it's like no big deal. So he gets to kill there, unsurprising. Again, now I go Volcarona here. I get the Quiver Dance off and Fire Blast. I'm doing a lot of damage here. Now, apparently, given this roll, it showed that I was modest. He's got a lot of special defense in this. So that meant he knew he can go Urshifu Rapid Revenge Kill. Thankfully for him, while I got the kill with Giga Drain here, he went back to Urshifu Rapid here. I went to Finny saying, okay, I can preserve Volcarona, maybe coming on Ferrothorn. Again, his only fire resist is Urshifu, so any damage on it would be huge. Later, it turned out that that was not going to be super helpful, but Here I was fine with it. He goes Tornado T here. I just Moonblast. Instant reveals he's Assault Vest, which is fine with me ultimately. I just go for 2 Moonblasts here, figuring he's going to U-turn. I didn't think he was going to stick around too long. He might be scared of Weavile and whatnot. I want to get the Urshifu back in. That's fine. So he takes 2 Moonblasts, U-turns. I go Volcarona here. Now I Fire Blast, again, thinking it's super free. Unfortunately, I missed Fire Blast on the Ferrothorn. He did miss Leech Seed to begin with, and he switches right after getting Leech Seed off. And I don't doubt he would have switched to get Leech Seed off there, but if he Leech Seeded like we see on the next turn, I just double out to Weavile, predicting the Tornadus, because I know he doesn't want to take damage in Urshifu. So, all in all, that Fire Blast missed definitely a little bit on the unfortunate side, but he missed Leech Seed, and that's part of the game. I felt mine was a little more important than his, obviously, because Ferrothorn would have been dead 2 times over, but I still felt this was a super playable position because of the advantage I got off to on turn 1, so I wasn't gonna be bothered by it at all. So I doubled the Weavile here, and I predicting to go to Tornadus T. That's pretty helpful for me because now I'm going to get a knockoff. If he goes Urshifu, that's a ton of damage. And also he's going to lose Scarf, but he goes Ferrothorn wisely enough. Here I'm scared of Body Press. I know Volcarona should live it from here. He wisely again goes for Leech Seed. So now I'm going to double the Weavile once more, predicting the Tornadus again, knowing that Triple Axle took Yo's. Now I could have Sword Stanced here, but I was scared of him being potentially going for a Heat Wave, and that 2 kills me, and he has a decent chance to level +2 Ice Shard for me. I was also scared of him on the Heat Wave going to Urshifu Rapid hard. I figured that he'd predict me never to knock here because A, Tornadus always lives knocked, that's too much for me. B, Ferrothorn without his item, he's not dying from knocking the Triple Axle. So I figured there's a chance he goes Urshifu Rapid here, so I don't want to Swords Dance into that because that kills me always, and then I can't even knock it off. So I felt Triple Axle was the best mid-ground play because it still does, you know, solid 30% to Urshifu Rapid, and also 2 kills Ferrothorn. So thankfully here, despite getting coming up short on the Fire Blast earlier, I am gonna hit 3 Triple Axles here, and the next turn I'm gonna hit 3 Triple Axles again. While unfortunately, because of the Fire Blast miss before, it's gonna put me super low all the way into the red. As you see here, I'm gonna hit all 6, so I am totally fine with that. At this point, it feels basically even to me. I mean, it's a 50-50 to hit all those, and yeah, I took a ton of damage, but at the same time, I'll take it. I'm still alive to Ice Shard. Now here it was a little bit bizarre to me. I always thought he would go Urshifu Rapid and U-turn here, if only because A, it basically baits in the Finny, and let's say if he U-turns on Volcarona, the only way the backfires is if it burns. The only way it backfires is if it burns. Meanwhile, if he U-turns on Scizor, Tornadus Heat Wave. If he U-turns on Weavile Stain, he's taking like 10% from my shard and then dying. U-turns on Finny, he goes Coco, you know. I can't go Hawlucha there at all. So, worst take now, he's taking like 10 or 12% from my shard. But now he goes Coco. Coco from +2, and he knows I'm adamant from the Triple Axe damage. Coco from +2, from neutral adamant Ice Shard is taking like 25-30%. That puts him in the +2 Hawlucha close combat range more often than not. That's potentially crucial later on in the game because you know damn well that Tornadus is not living +2 acrobatics, all likelihood, almost like a physical defense and it's assault vest, so that seems unlikely, and nor is going to be the Urshifu, so that sets me up for potential Hawlucha endgame here, and I think this Ice Shard is super valuable, so I'm just like, okay, if you're going to give it, I'm going to take it. I get 27. He Thunderbolts, which is fine. I'm very weak to Coco in terms of switching in, so I'm okay with that damage. I go Scizor here now. I Psycho Cut, hoping he's going to go Urshifu, thinking that he might be scared of something like a double switch here, but in hindsight, nothing I could really double to would take advantage of the Tornadus, and my best play there was always to click Knockoff. Why? Well, Knockoff wouldn't do well if he stayed in with Tapu Koko, but if he stays in with Tapu Koko, then he's always going to be in range of +2 Hawlucha, and suddenly the Finny becomes a threat as well. On the flip side, though, if I knock off it, I still live Thunderbolt, and then I put him in Bullet Punch range, so it's just not the end of the world. But if I knock off one of the Tornadus here, I knock off the Assault Vest, which suddenly makes my Tapu Finny a potential win condition as well, and not to mention the fact that it helps, does more damage, means that I can potentially kill with a single acrobatics. So, I thought that was a missed turn. I think I got a little cute with that, and knockoff was always the play. But at this point, I knew I had to retreat. So here, I went back to Finny, figuring he'd Heat Wave, because he definitely had it on this team. He does Heat Wave. It does 8%, so yeah, it's still like 0 special attack. Now I double the Volcarona, figuring here he's probably going to U-turn or knock off, and I like to get rid of the Volcarona and just retain momentum, reset momentum. So yeah, he U-turns, it lives, he goes Coco, Thunderbolt, that's fine. I go Scizor here, and now I wisen up and I knock off. I wish I didn't take me the Volcarona to do that, but now he's in Bullet Punch range too, which is helpful. So I knock off there. He Heat Waves, I didn't Bullet Punch, but this is all fine and well. I go to Finny here, and now at this point, I doubled Hawlucha, and at this point I kind of figured he wouldn't be Hurricane, because A, I felt like he might have used it before, and B, would he click Hurricane or would he click Knockoff if he had it there? I felt like if he didn't have Hurricane, he's probably just always going to click U-turn, but otherwise he might click Knock, take the damage off, the item off first, because then I can never lose, because then he can just U-turn after, and yeah. But thankfully, he clicks U-turn. U-turn does around 5%, and it's 4 times resisted, it's a 0 attack to probably minus attack as well. So here's the caveat here. I am now very bulky Hawlucha. I get that +1 special defense. I have a lot of HP investment and a lot of special defense investment. I only have enough speed to outrun Modest, Lele, and Kira. And I outrun things like, Adamant Drill and Sand at +2 still. I outrun most common Scarfers, Lander's T, +1 Guard Jump I still outrun. Scarf Katana I still outrun. I don't really lose anything +2. It's just plus speed Drill and Sand. And Drill isn't really used anymore, so there's a risk I was willing to take. But with this extra bulk, not only do I live things like Toxic Scald behind Substitute, but also this Thunderbolt from Tapu Koko, max special attack, and electric train with my +1 special defense caps out at 96%. And thank goodness gracious, I survived at 3%. He actually got a little higher roll than average there, which is funny, but again, it didn't matter unless he paralyzed crit or got max damage, and he didn't. Thank goodness. Really fortunate turn there for me. There was probably a 2 or 3 in 16 chance of me dying. Then there's a 1 in 10% chance of him getting paralysis. And then there's also the 1 in 20 some odd chance of him critting. So we'll add that all up, probably a 30 some odd % chance, whatever, we'll take it. 20 some odd % chance, whatever it is. Now, here we know there's Shifu Rapid Scarf with Ice Punch. It has to have Surging Strike, close combat, and you'd think U-turn would be last. So he just fires off to your Shifu here. Now, this was actually a misplay on his end because it was going to come down to the roll on the, I guess he was scouting for like Poison Jab? I don't know. But it's going to come down to the roll on the Koko anyway. So what his best play was to do was actually to stand with Koko and see if he could live the close combat. Why? Because let's say, you see I kill him here, right? So at this point, if I get damage on the Koko, then there's a chance that, since his Tornadus T is without Assault Vest, there's a chance that with one single crit, Moonblast 2 kills Tornadus T on a switch in, and then he can't get a knockoff off, and then I win the game regardless of anything. But on the flip side, if he were to save your Shifu, then he would be able to do enough damage and beat another regenerator switch to where I would always lose the game if this didn't kill. But even if this killed here, I had a chance to win. It didn't kill here, I had a chance to win anyway. But the roll was, I believe, 69 or 70 to 82 or 83. And he was at 73, so it favored me again. Kind of like before, 25-30% chance. And thankfully, I got the kill there. It did kill. I guess I didn't show the animation. Sorry about that. I'm a little rusty to this. Yeah, so I got the kill there. And then, as we said before, Tornadus T was never living the plus acrobatics. And even if it somehow did from 70%, which would have been absolutely wild to me, or if it was somehow to full, Finny would have finished off there with Scarf. And that's the game. So yeah, tight game decided basically by 3% Hawlucha with Scarf Finny just barely chilling in the back. Thankfully, didn't get too unlucky there. Game came down to an absolute wire. Rosie Bear played a nice end game. I think the one turn where he let the Koko take the Ice Shard proved costly to him, in all honesty, but there were other workarounds potentially. Either way, I will certainly take the win. Much needed to bring my record to 3-5. It's actually the worst record I've ever had before. Worst I've ever done prior to that was 4-5, and usually I'm at like 5-4, 6-3. Never really like a, oh my god, he went 9-0 type tournament, but usually it tends to be positive. So this was definitely a downer tour for me, but it was nice to finish it off with a win against a really solid player in super close fashion using a super nice offensive team. I really enjoy playing these type of teams. They're just a lot of offense, a lot of fun, and I'm sure you guys do too. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be on vacation. I'm going to Las Vegas with my family Friday through Monday, so I'll probably upload this sometime in the middle. I'll schedule that, and then you'll see sometime from me in the middle late next week, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Thank you for watching. Hope you all have a great day and a good weekend, depending on when I upload this, and talk soon. Okay, bye guys. Later.